Hi guys, I hope you're all doing okay. I caught COVID for the first time this week, and because of that, it made me be a bit late in my video, so I'm pretty sure it's not going to bother any one of you. But personally, it bothers me that I'm not able to post on a Friday like I usually do, so I just wanted to address that real quick. Anyway, I hope you'll enjoy the video. Hi, I watched ENCHANTE, and here's my review. Theo gets to rain out with his childhood friend, Ak, just as he comes back from France after living there for many years. One day, while he is in school, bored while waiting for Ak, he decides to write in a book. Little did he know that someone would actually reply to him. Curious and decided, set on finding the person who wrote back to him, he starts looking for this person that he calls Enchanté. Following this, 4 men appear in front of him, all claiming to be this Enchanté. When I first saw the trailer, I wasn't too sure about the plot of the drama, what it seemed like it was going to be, but I was still very excited since I'm French and I was all to see French in a drama. However, you've seen the grade I gave it, and I'm going to start with the good things, the things that I liked in this drama. For the most part, they are just details. Maybe just one thing that I really enjoyed, but I know it's not the case from everyone. Some people got fed up with it, but I really liked Ak's acting. As a whole, I just like Ak. He is a very funny and kind of goofy guy, but very supportive and very sweet too at the same time. He's just, I don't know, I would like a friend like him. Anyway, so this is out of the way, but first thing that I really like is how they are not on bad terms when Theo comes back from France. Usually I feel like it's a bit like that. When they grow up, they don't really get good together again, or it's a bit awkward. But I really like that as soon as they realize they are each other, they get going and kind of become besties again. I really liked this idea. I feel like it's rare. Maybe I just can't think of any, but it really struck me when I was watching the drama. Second thing that I liked, and for this one I'm sure I'm not the only one, it's the kiss scene. Whew. It was a nice kiss scene. Honestly, I wasn't expecting such a kiss scene because I think I've been used by GMMTV to not necessarily expect a great kiss. I mean, a great kiss. So yeah, very, very surprised. Another tiny detail that really made me giggling while I was watching the drama is when Ak says to Theo that he is also left-handed. At this moment, Theo realizes that his Enchanté is actually left-handed and not right-handed. And while he is thinking about the only person in the 4 people who is left-handed, here goes Ak saying that, well, I am left-handed too. It was... I really went giggling hard at this moment, so I thought it was worth mentioning. Last 2 things are kind of linked, if I could say, but I really, really like Theo's parents. It doesn't end up well with them, but I do like how they are with their son, how they love him, how they support him, and kind of pushes him to do things, to try his best and give a try to things. And I also like that they still at the same time remind him that it could not work. What he wants to do isn't going to work, and so he shouldn't be too disappointed. I really like these supportive parents. Also, well, we don't see it much, but the father, I liked his acting a lot more in this drama than in Baker Boys. And talking about Baker Boys, I was so happy about the crossover. Of course, it doesn't really match with the father, but if you put this aside, I really liked it. When I saw the the bakery from the outside, I was like, oh, I'm starting to recognize places in Thai dramas now. Because I remembered it from Baker Boys, but they actually go in it, and it's Baker Boys. So yeah, it was done on purpose. But yeah, I liked this. It was very nice to see. And unfortunately, that's it for me with the good points, and I'm going to go in detail of why I didn't like this drama. So the first thing that really took me out of the story completely is the whole plot around the 4 guys who pretend to be enchanté. First off, that's what I was scared about from the trailer, is that it was going to be not a triangle, not a square, but more. And I was worried about that. However, very quickly in the drama, you know that Ak and Theo are going to end up together. There's no suspense at all. You know it very quickly. So for this, I was very glad. And actually, that's something that I forgot to say, is actually that from the get-go, when they meet each other, they already have some kind of tension between them. They don't just become bros again. There's something both inside of them that have them a bit, I think, shook and kind of question things. But yeah, that's the little thing I forgot. But so when the 4 guys are introduced, you know he's not going to end up with any of them. And so them going after him, being, oh, I like you, I want to be with you, and all this nonsense, because in the end, most of them are just crap people who want... Anyway. So I was not interested at all. I was like, what's even the point of seeing all this? I'd rather see Theo and Ak more together. So unfortunately, most of these parts, I fast forwarded them. I'm going to tie the next 2 points together, and it has to do with the fact that Theo is actually enchanté. Honestly, I think like everyone, I was super surprised to discover that he's enchanté. However, I wasn't too upset about it, because I was still kind of wondering at this point. I wanted to know who it was, because Theo had been so on it for the entire drama. At some point I just wanted to know too, like just let me know. So it was very surprising, and at first kind of a pretty good surprise, I would say. Well, at least it was not a bad surprise, kind of. But when I think about it, I don't know, it's just weird that it would do that, especially just to get the attention of Ak. I mean, never mind. I'm going to go back on Theo a bit later, so I'm going to talk about it later. But what I want to link to it is that for the entirety of the drama before this plot, I just couldn't understand why Theo wanted to know who it was so bad. And it's not good, even if they give a reason later on, and it kind of makes sense why he wanted so bad to find this enchanté. The whole time of the drama, you don't understand why he's so freaking curious. I mean, okay, maybe you could be a bit curious in the beginning of like, wow, someone answered actually, I wonder who it is, you know. But it's just one sentence, you know. It's not like he had been talking to this person for a few months without knowing who it was. It was just one sentence. At some point, looking for enchanté became so much trouble in his life. Anyone sane would just go, I don't give a F anymore, I'm done, I don't care who this person is. So for the whole duration almost of the drama, I was feeling this way. Why are you still looking for this person? Why are you so curious to find this person? Of course, in the end, it makes sense why he kept on doing it. But since we didn't know for the whole duration of the drama, you're just pissed off at him. Like, get over it, stop it. Anyway, so even though it resolves later on, it doesn't take away my frustration, and I think it adds a bit more to it. Then we have the last episodes, especially the very last one. I don't even know what to say about it. It was just stupid and completely uncalled for, and yeah, I want to say it again, completely stupid. Honestly, I think I'm going to talk about him now. I was not very fond of Theo for the whole duration of the drama. At first, it didn't really have anything to do with his personality. I found him pretty nice. But maybe it's the acting of the actor, but his face, his expressions, I was just not vibing with it. So yeah, I had this weird impression about him. Then I kind of started to like him more and more as the drama went on. And of course, at some point, I started getting very frustrated with him because of all the looking for ENCHANTE and how he was actually with Ak. I mean, why? Why did he want Ak so much to be the one to confess first? You know you like Ak. You clearly know Ak likes you too. Why don't you do it? Why are you trying everything in any way possible to make Ak do it when Ak is just being so dense he doesn't see you like him? I mean, technically, he was the one making the first move with the kiss. So you could have followed, you know, he thought you were kind of half asleep and I don't know, and even at the end, when they mention this kiss, actually, and Theo goes like, if I didn't like you, I wouldn't have reciprocated the kiss. And Ak goes all like, oh yeah, what an idiot I am, and everything. And I'm like, no, Theo is the idiot. He could have said it from this moment instead of kind of playing games and everything. And especially with this ENCHANTE book, and that's what I wanted to say just a bit earlier, that's weird. It's kind of very manipulative, kind of. Like, why? Oh, I don't know. It's just too weird that it would go to this extent instead of just saying things. And in the end, Theo kind of only think of himself all the time. He's kind of very self-centered and doesn't really think about other people at all. Even Ak, I feel like I don't remember every detail of the drama already, but I feel like it was always everything kind of about him and him also going off at Ak lots of the time for no reason at all, and I was feeling so bad for Ak at these moments. Yeah, clearly Theo doesn't deserve Ak at all. It's clearly not the contrary like Ak thinks and like kind of his sister says. What his sister says was so bad. I mean, even if you like Theo, you can't be like this. I mean, if a guy was being a freaking D to my sister, even if I like him, you know, I could maybe say a few nice things for him, maybe, but then I would be like, yeah, I would just insult him all the way with my sister and telling my sister she is too good for this guy. Not the contrary. So this was very, very weird for a sister to say. Anyway. Yeah, so at the end, when he just decides to go to France with his mom, I'm like, I mean, I get it in Asia, especially, you know, the whole thing with family and everything, but at some point, she is an adult. You are an adult too. You're not going to live your whole life with your mom. At some point, it's time to fly away. But no, he decides that, oh, you know, I just got with my boyfriend, but I'm just going to leave him because my parents decided to not stay with each other and I'm so heartbroken. And oh my god, this made no sense at all. And the fact that in the end, it's again Ak that kind of follows him and goes by what Theo wants and goes to France. It's stupid. Honestly, I read, I think, after the end generic, I think I read some people saying that they're like, how do you say that? I think Ak asks for Theo's hand, like he wants to marry him. But I didn't see it, and when I read this comment, I wasn't even interested or curious enough to go check it out, but I read there's that. So yeah, in my opinion, very frustrating and honestly boring drama. It's a shame because, like I said at the beginning, I really like Ak in this drama. I really like this character and I wouldn't mind seeing more of him, and I think it's such a shame that such a good character is in such a bad drama. I like to praise GMMTV these days for bringing us good dramas, but yeah, clearly this one is a total miss for me and for a lot of people, I know, so yeah, it's going to be very forgettable. Anyway, don't hesitate to tell me what you thought about this drama. Most probably you're on the same line as me, but yeah, don't hesitate anyway. And with this, I'm done and I'll see you in another video. Bye bye!